Hello, in this programming video, I am going to show you inheritance in terms of classes and objects in Kotlin. Okay, so inheritance, essentially all it does is it allows you to create sort of like a base parent class. Then you can have classes that inherit from this particular class. So instead of calling this car, I'm going to call this vehicle. And I just need to make a few modifications, mainly this vehicle. And the reason I'm just doing that, because you could have a vehicle and then based on that you can inherit from it and like have a car class, have a bike class. So outside of this class, after it, you put class, then the name of your new class. So I'm going to call this one car. Then you put colon. Now you put the base class that you want to inherit from. So it's called vehicle. Open close bracket, and we'll get an error. So this error is saying this type is final, so it cannot be inherited from. So by default it is final, therefore you cannot inherit from it. And you have to put the keyword open in front of your base class. And as you can see, and also as you can see, this requires a default parameter as well. So we're actually going to get rid of that. It's pretty simple to add. They just add it there, and when you call its sub method, you need to call that as well. I'll leave that as an extra task for you to check out, but I just want to keep it simple. And as you can see, we got this right here. You can create variables. So if I create a quick variable, I'll say test var equals hello world, and I'm going to create a function. So function test, again just for test purposes. I'm going to put print line yay. So now if we want to create an object of this class, it's pretty simple. It's the same sort of method. You just do var, so I'll call this v1 and v2, so the vehicles essentially and not cars. Okay, this should be, yeah, that's fine. And I really should update these as well, to be fair, just because this code will be part of the source code and I don't want to uncomment it and it's not working. So I'm going to create a car equals car, like so. So what this means is if I do car.test, we run that, it will call this test method right here and it will say yay. But as you can see, the constructors, so I'm actually going to comment these lines out, otherwise it's getting a bit confusing of what's happening. So as you can see, the primary and secondary constructors of this class were called. Even though we didn't create an object of this class anymore, the only object we created was of the car class. But remember, this is inheriting from the vehicle class, so he gets all of his properties, including the constructors. We can also do this, because it's got all of its properties, we could do car dot, and we can get the speed variables, the model, we can get the current speed, we could set the speed, we can essentially get everything. So if I do get current speed and I let's say I'll put that in a print line, we can do that, get all of the properties of the parent class. And that's it. That's all a child class is. I'll cover more advanced stuff for inheritance in the subsequent videos. Feel free to check them out. One last thing I want to show you is visibility scope. So I mentioned protected in the visibility modifiers video. So if I make this one protected, so what that means is it's private, but it can be used by children class as well. So if you look, this one's private, this one is current speed. If I go to a child class and in here I try and do current speed equals 9, for example, that don't work. If we go to it, it says it is invisible, it is private in the vehicle class. Whereas if I try and do, what's the other one? Protected was model. So instead, if I try and do model, as you can see it appears, and we try and assign something to it, like model for example, that works fine. We still cannot access the outside of it because it is private in terms of outside access, but that's the difference between protected and private variables. Private or properties can only be used within the class that they are declared in. Protected can be used within the class they are declared in and any children class that are inheriting from it. That's it. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.